There's something magical about watching rough, weathered planks transform under your hands into furniture that looks like it's been part of a countryside home for generations. Rustic wooden furniture DIY isn't just about building functional pieces. It's about preserving the soul of the wood, celebrating its imperfections, and creating furnishings that tell a story before anyone even sits at your table or opens your cabinet doors. The journey begins with selecting your wood, and this is where the character of your future furniture is born. Reclaimed barn wood is the holy grail for rustic projects. Each dent and nail hole whispers of its past life, sheltering animals or storing harvests. When examining potential boards, look for those beautiful gray patinas that only decades of weather can create. But beware of any wood that's become punky or rotten. If you can't find authentic aged wood, don't worry. New pine or cedar can be transformed with some clever aging techniques. Try the vinegar and steel wool trick. Soak steel wool in white vinegar overnight. Then brush the solution onto fresh wood to create an instant weathered gray finish that looks like it's faced 100 winters. Your tool selection doesn't need to be fancy to create stunning rustic pieces. A good circular saw can handle most cuts, though a miter saw makes angle work easier. For that truly handcrafted look, nothing beats the control of a sharp hand saw. The slight imperfections in your cuts will only add to the charm. Chisels and a mallet will help you create mortise and tenon joints that look like they came from a pioneer's workshop. And don't overlook the value of simple hand sanding. The variations in pressure create a wonderfully uneven surface that machine sanding can't replicate. Construction techniques for rustic furniture embrace simplicity and strength. The breadboard end table is a perfect starter project. Take 3 wide planks for the top, connect them with dowels or pocket screws underneath. Then attach perpendicular end pieces that prevent warping while showcasing the wood's end grain. For legs, consider using small diameter logs with the bark still intact. Just be sure to seal the bark properly to prevent flaking. When joining pieces, don't hide your screw heads. Instead, use decorative blacksmith-style bolts that become part of the aesthetic. If you're feeling particularly ambitious, try your hand at dovetail joints. Even slightly uneven ones add tremendous character. Surface preparation is where rustic furniture really comes alive. Instead of sanding everything perfectly smooth, use a wire brush attachment on your drill to remove the softer grain between the growth rings, creating wonderful texture that catches the light. For an authentic farmhouse look, distress the wood intentionally, drag chains across it, hammer some strategic dents, or even carefully use a blowtorch to create darkened areas that highlight the grain. When it comes to finishing, skip the glossy polyurethanes. A simple mixture of linseed oil and beeswax brings out the wood's natural beauty while allowing it to continue aging gracefully. One of the most rewarding rustic projects is a farmhouse dining table. Start with 2x10 or 2x12 construction-grade pine. The knots and sap streaks will add character. Leave the edges rough for that just-milled look, or hand bevel them for comfort while maintaining rusticity. For the base, nothing says country charm like a trestle design with through tenons pegged with dowels. The beauty of this project is that slight imperfections in measurement or alignment only enhance the handmade appeal. Storage pieces like bookshelves or cabinets offer wonderful opportunities to play with mixed materials. Try combining rough-sawn wood with old glass panes salvaged from windows for doors. Use forged iron hinges that stand out as decorative elements. Consider leaving the back open or using chicken wire instead of wood paneling for a truly country feel. When building drawers, dovetail the fronts for show, but use simple butt joints in back. This honest construction approach is a hallmark of true rustic design. Seating pieces like benches and chairs let you explore more organic forms. A live-edge slab mounted on hairpin legs makes an instant conversation piece. For something more substantial, try a log bench. Split a large diameter log lengthwise, flatten one side for the seat, and attach legs made from smaller log sections. Leave the bark on for maximum rustic appeal, but be sure to stabilize it with multiple coats of clear epoxy. Lighting projects provide quick wins that can transform a space. Wrap a rough wooden board with simple pendant lights for an instant rustic chandelier. Create candle holders by drilling holes into thick branches or slices of log. The variations in diameter make the flames dance at different heights. For outdoor lighting, nothing beats a lantern made from old fence pickets with glass panels salvaged from old storm windows. The finishing touches are what elevate rustic furniture from homemade to heirloom. Hand-forged hardware adds authenticity. Look for blacksmith-made drawer pulls or strap hinges with a hand-hammered texture. Leather accents bring warmth. Try upholstering seat bottoms with saddle leather or adding leather pulls to drawers. For tables, consider inlaying small metal or stone details that catch the eye without overpowering the wood's natural beauty. Maintaining your rustic creations is wonderfully simple. Every few months, wipe them down with a mixture of lemon oil and beeswax to keep the wood nourished. Small scratches and dings blend right into the distressed aesthetic, and any significant damage can often be repaired with wood filler mixed with coffee grounds to match the aged color. Over years, the wood will continue to mature, developing a richer patina that no store-bought finish can replicate. What makes rustic DIY furniture so special is how it connects us to traditional craftsmanship while allowing for personal expression. Each piece you create carries not just the history of the wood itself, but the memory of the time you spent shaping it. A table built from old barn wood might have fed a farm family decades ago. Now it will host your family's meals and gatherings, its story continuing with every use. The beauty of rustic design lies in its forgiving nature. You don't need perfect joinery or flawless surfaces. In fact, those mistakes often become the most charming elements. As you gain confidence, you'll develop an eye for which imperfections to preserve and which to correct. You'll learn how to read the wood's grain to prevent splitting, how to position knots for visual interest without compromising strength, how to enhance the natural aging process rather than fight it. Perhaps most importantly, rustic furniture DIY teaches us to appreciate the unique beauty in materials that others might overlook. That warped board with the interesting grain pattern becomes a tabletop that looks like flowing water. The log with unusual fungus markings transforms into a shelf that resembles a piece of natural art. The pallet wood with peeling paint becomes a cabinet front with built-in shabby chic charm. In a world of mass-produced, disposable furniture, creating rustic pieces represents a return to authenticity and sustainability. You're not just building furniture, you're preserving history, reducing waste, and creating functional art that will last for generations. Each hammer blow, each hand-rubbed finish. There's something extraordinary about that first moment when you transform rough, weathered wood into something functional and beautiful with your own hands. That initial project may be a humble side table built from salvage barn wood or a floating shelf carved from a single rough plank, becomes so much more than a piece of furniture. The sanding marks where you learn to read the grain, the slightly uneven joint where you discover the importance of patience, the way the wood's natural imperfections became the most beautiful parts of the design. These aren't flaws, but milestones in your creative journey. As your skills grow, so does your vision. Soon, you'll walk past a pile of discarded pallets and see a coffee table waiting to emerge. An old fence post will whisper its potential as a bookshelf. You'll study antique furniture, not just for its aesthetics, but for the clever joinery and time-tested techniques hidden beneath the surface. Each project becomes a conversation between you and the material, sometimes challenging, always rewarding, where the wood guides your hands as much as your hands shape the wood. The magic happens in the process as much as the result. There's the meditative rhythm of hand sanding, the satisfaction of a perfect dovetail joint, the surprise when a seemingly plain board reveals stunning grain patterns as the finish soaks in. These moments accumulate like growth rings in your own creative life, building confidence and character with each new challenge. And the furniture that emerges carries that story forward. Your dining table bears the marks of the weekend you spent perfecting the breadboard ends. Your bed frame remembers the afternoon you discovered the beauty of butterfly joints. Before long, your home becomes a living gallery of your growth. Guests might admire the rustic charm of your creations, but you'll see so much more. The memory of the lumberyard where you hand-selected each board, the breakthrough moment when a tricky technique finally clicked, the way your personal style evolved from simple reproductions to designs that are uniquely yours. These pieces don't just hold your possessions. They hold your persistence, your creativity, and the quiet joy of making something real in an increasingly virtual world. Woodworking at its heart is about transformation, of materials, of skills, of perspective. As you turn raw lumber into functional art, you'll find the craft working its changes on you too. Impatience gives way to attention. Mistakes become lessons. The pursuit of sterile perfection yields to appreciation for organic beauty. And with each project, you're not just building furniture. You're reclaiming the profound human satisfaction of creating tangible things with mind, heart, and hands. So take that first step. Let your initial cuts be imperfect, your early joints a little loose. Every master woodworker began exactly where you are now. The materials are ready, full of character and possibility. The tools are waiting, eager to extend your capabilities. And the quiet, profound satisfaction of stepping back to admire something beautiful that you brought into existence, that's already on its way. Your journey starts the moment you pick up that first piece of wood and decide to make it into something more. The rest will unfold one project, one lesson, one story at a time.